Hey guys, welcome to Teach Kids Money TV. My name is Maya, and today I would like to speak with you about teaching kids how to budget. So, one of the things that I typically do with my kids when it comes to teaching them how to budget is I actually get them to budget for their own birthday party. And I will show you how I do this. Okay, so basically, this is what a budget looks like that I share with my kids that we work on. So it's very simple. There's really not much to it. Essentially, I open up an Excel spreadsheet. You can also do this in Google spreadsheets. But basically, I just open up the spreadsheet. I can put down different tabs. So for guests or any other plans that you may have for that particular birthday party. And then on the budget tab, I will put in the total budget. So for the sake of argument, I'm putting $300 here. Now that number could be 100, 200, or even more if that's what you choose. And then I have expenses. So I have the venue. And a lot of times it ends up being at home because to have a birthday party somewhere else, it actually costs a lot of money. We do also find that sometimes if we have smaller birthday parties where we only invite a handful of kids to maybe a movie and then to go for pizza somewhere else afterwards and ice cream, that usually works out well as too. To be perfectly honest with you, I used to spend a lot of money on birthday parties, and I realized that was not really needed. So we basically stopped doing that. But essentially for the expenses, so I have venue here, I have cake, we have pizza, we have drinks, loot bags, decorations, and other. And with the conversation with my kids, we usually decide, okay, what is it that they want to do? And then we figure out, okay, how many guests are they going to have? And based on that, we determine how much each of these things is going to cost. And then obviously all of those expenses, they add up to this amount. And then whatever's left over goes in here. So, I just explained to them that, basically this number, I'll highlight this number in yellow, but this number is basically the difference between the total budget and the total expenses. This number cannot be negative. So believe it or not, when my daughter was only in grade 1, she was able to understand that this number was going down every time we changed or increased one of these expenses. So for example, if I wanted to spend $100 on loot bags, she realized that that number was going to go down. And that this is just her personality. She's a very gracious kid. So I remember her specifically in grade 1 spending extra money on loot bags. And this number went down. And the thing about this number too is that we actually, whatever is left over, we give it to our kids. We don't buy them birthday gifts, but whatever is left over, our kids get to keep that. So it's an extra incentive for them to sort of balance this budget. So that is what we do every year. I essentially give them a budget, and then they figure out how much they want to spend on what. However, this year, because of coronavirus, because of COVID, we are doing things a little bit different. Because we can't really go anywhere or have people over, I've decided to do an online party. And as you can imagine, the costs with that are very limited. So to conduct this online birthday party, we used the House Party app, and we invited 5 of Tia's closest friends. And we delivered pizza, cake, and loot bags to their doorsteps before we connected with them online. So this year, there is no budget. This year, we're not sitting and going through that budget sheet and comparing how much things cost. So I guess I just want to be real with you and explain that, yes, I do teach my kids about money, but this year I didn't. I feel bad that my kids haven't seen their friends in a month. My daughter, who's actually a social butterfly, she hasn't really been in touch with her friends, not even over her phone or doing online videos or anything like that. So I actually took it upon myself to make this a fun party for her. And when it comes to budgeting, I actually didn't really spend that much. I ended up making our own cake because most of the stores here in Toronto or Mississauga, they they don't have cakes anymore. You cannot order cakes ahead of time. You have to go inside the store. If you're lucky, you may be able to actually find a prepackaged cake. So I didn't want to take my chances, and I actually decided to make a cake with her, which of course took quite a bit of time. And it was an interesting experience because she got to see how much time and effort is put into making a cake, as well as, we have to pay for the ingredients. How was it, in terms of,
It was actually pretty fun because we got to talk and
we made it,
yeah.
but it took us a while to make it,
Yeah, it did.
right? So when you think about it, a cake that we made is probably like, how much do you think you would spend on a cake like that if you bought it from a store?
Like 30-40 bucks.
No, this one would be like 25.
Okay.
25 bucks. So for 25 bucks plus tax, let's say $28. What do you think? Is it worth it? Like making your own cake?
Yeah.
It is? Why?
Well, it's less money first of all, and it still tasted great.
So we say less money. How?
Because you only we had most of the ingredients at home.
Okay. Well, I actually ended up buying all these ingredients because I saw the recipe. It is cheaper. It is cheaper. Whatever these ingredients cost, plus the amount of time you spent, it may or may not be worth making the cake. Though, especially people that don't like baking or who are not good at baking, I can understand why they don't want to make their own cake, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I actually spent all together on this birthday party. Again, I didn't involve Tia. I wanted it to be a surprise for her because it's been a really tough month for her without seeing her friends. Every year when we do this sort of budget with our kids, we don't buy any gifts for our kids when it comes to their birthday. And I know some people may think that's cruel. This is just what we do as a family, and every family is different. Our kids are very fortunate and very lucky. We have a lot of family members. We also have a lot of friends. So they get a lot of gifts that way. But this year, because of COVID, and because we're staying home, and because we're really not spending much money on a party for Tia, we've decided to buy her some gifts just to make it a little bit extra special. So I guess the message of today's video would be that yes, we can teach our kids about money, but sometimes there are certain circumstances like the coronavirus where perhaps what we typically do from year to year may not necessarily apply here. So sometimes, we need to use our judgment to see when is that appropriate and when it's not. And for us, for my family at the moment, teaching them about budgeting for this particular birthday was not important to me. However, in the future, hopefully things are back to normal, I will use birthday events to teach Daniel and Tia how to properly budget. Any other things you want to share?
Not really, but it was actually pretty fun.
It was a fun birthday, even though it wasn't your kind of typical birthday where you go out and see your friends.
Yeah, even though I couldn't see my friends, it was still fun.
Okay, good, excellent. But next year we're gonna do the budget, right?
Maybe.
Maybe? No, we're gonna do the budget.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.